welcome back to the Meeple Marathon and a special unboxing of Batman the Animated Series Shadow of the Bat. This is from IDW Games in their Adventures Universal Game System, and may very well be the last game ever published by IDW Games because to my knowledge they are still closing up shop as soon as they're done delivering all of the content for this Kickstarter. So this is in the same line as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shadows of the Past, I believe. And so it's an interesting system, essentially a cooperative game where you're rolling out some dice that's going to decide on which actions you can take on your turn, but you're also sharing dice with people to your right and your left. So definitely a team style game. It can be played solo. You're just going to have to control several characters, but there is also a mode where you control just Batman. You're going to be given, additional resources in that case, but this one has definitely been a long time coming. It's actually, I believe it was Warner Brothers or maybe DC, I'm not 100% sure, but had an issue with the cover of the box, the original cover of the box that IDW had created, because there was weapons involved, and they said that they didn't want any weapons on the covers. So I guess that's different from the stretch goal box. I don't know if the sword counts or what, but I think it was specifically guns. Like the Joker had a gun and was firing it off. And anyways, so they had to redo the whole box cover for the core box here, and then obviously the whole shipping crisis has gotten in the way, and they've been kind of slow getting the games out. I don't know if COVID has to do with that or not, but finally got this here literally the day before Christmas, so it took me a few days to get around to the unboxing video here, but we're going to go ahead and take a look. There are going to be a lot of miniatures in this game that we're going to be showing off, especially here in the stretch goal box. But what is fun about this one is that it is the animated series, so you're going to see a lot of different characters than, say, compared to the unboxing of Gotham City Chronicles, which is based more on like the comic books and things like that. So this is the series that has the infamous Mark Hamill as the Joker, probably one of the more recognizable people who participated in that show. But let's go ahead and crack these open. We'll take a look at the core box, and we'll take a look at the stretch goal box. This is the only content that I decided to back. There is additional content, Arkham Asylum expansion, and a couple other small box expansions, but I just went with the core pledge because this was my first iteration into this Adventures Universal Game System, and so I wanted to check it out. So hopefully, if it's a game I do enjoy, I'll be able to track down some of that additional content in the future. But anyways, let's take a look at the core box here. Okay, so went ahead and took the cover off the core box, and the first thing you're going to be greeted with is a whole bunch of punch boards, which were wrapped in cellophane, but I went ahead and cracked that open since that would just save time and a lot of noise on the video. So interestingly enough, the rule book is not on top, which is usually pretty standard. So obviously the rule book will be somewhere down below. Basically what we have here is a whole bunch of health tokens, but also some action tokens, which once we open the Kickstarter exclusive box, we're going to be treated with some dual layered kind of player boards, which I think were a really nice addition. What these tokens are for are when you share the dice with the person on your right and your left, they can then just pick up a token so that you don't have to actually physically share the die. You simply put the die on the right side of your board, and the person to your right will then pick up a token which they can then use to spend on their turn. Not quite sure what the question mark is for. It's got a star on the other side. You can see the health tokens are double-sided. One's on one side, three's on the other side. I always like it when people do that. It just makes life simpler. Okay. Then we have some more action tokens, some more of these. Here is I know this is a token specific for Two-Face, and a lot of these others I think are specific to probably villain actions or character specific actions. You know, this is probably Mr. Freeze here. Don't know what, who might be using the tie-up one. And then these are focus tokens, which can be acquired and then spent to do things like reroll dice or to complete your character-specific action cards, which we'll see here in a little bit. Let's see if these are all... Okay, so these tokens are actually, double-sided as well, 1s and 3s. These are completely different on the other side. You can see Two-Face's scarred side of the coin. Wish that maybe there is one in the Stretch Goals exclusive box, but it would be nice if this coin was a physical coin, because I know that you're going to be flipping it in some cases when playing with Two-Face to create, that random chaos. It would be nice to actually flip a real coin. Maybe we can throw it in a coin capsule or something like that. All right, then we have some bystander tokens, some other various tokens for various player counts, things like that. More question marks, so we'll flip this over. And then here's some terrain. So the boards are pretty simple, but there's a lot of color borders used to signify like elevation and things like that, because being up on top of a building, flying over stuff is a big part of Batman's repertoire. We can see on the backside they're slightly different, and then there's a whole bunch of stars on the backside. So these are probably just objective tokens that one side's hidden versus the other. More terrain, some bomb, dynamite tokens, fire extinguisher, again more status tokens, things like that. Helicopter, and again all of the artwork, exploding helicopter, all of the artwork is done in the style of Batman the Animated Series. So if you are a fan of the show, you should find no issue with any of this artwork. The tick. This is for the bomb tokens. Again, more terrain, lots of status tokens. Here we can see the backside of those. More tick tokens, more terrain here. This appears... Can't remember what this is for. This might be for the solo play when you play with just Batman. Maybe not. Again, just a whole bunch more terrain. Probably gonna, and that was the last one. So appears to be about 7 total sheets of punch outs. And then we have a round tracker game reference sheet here. I know that not all the rounds are tracked, but some of them are, so I believe that's why this is here. So if it's a scenario where you have a round limit, then you track it here. Nice that they have these game reference sheets. Cooperative mode, I'm guessing there's one for competitive mode reference sheet. Your initiative deck here is going to determine who gets to go, things like that. So I'm not going to open these up. Everybody's seen what reference sheets look like and all that. So all right, now we have the cardboard maps essentially, which are underneath here, and there's a peek at the miniatures. All right, so you can see the maps are a little dry, in my opinion. I feel like they, there are plenty of, map tiles out there. For example, Madara is probably one of the best examples that uses just a traditional square. They're even smaller than this, but the artwork on the map tiles really pop. These are, kind of dull. You can't even really tell there's a wall here. Everything's very dark in my opinion. So that is one of my drawbacks of this particular game that I remember from the Kickstarter. I was hoping that maybe the artwork would improve after the Kickstarter during post-production, but here you can see this is a street. There's nothing really super fancy about the street. I know that they were trying to stick with the artwork from the show, but again, here's like the blimp, and it's hard to really see the blimp under there. All I really see is the orange and the purple, which obviously are very important to the game, but it's just a little disappointing that they couldn't make that artwork pop a little bit more. Again here, this is just a rooftop, 2 rooftops with an alleyway in between. It's a very dull board in my opinion. This one's a little better, but again, I am more just blasted away by the bright pink and the bright blue. So hopefully the gameplay will be enough to distract me from, this is, I think Bruce Wayne's office. I'm not sure, somebody's office, but you can see here, there's just, I feel like they could have made this all pop a lot better. Hopefully the gameplay distracts you from the mundane nature of the map boards here. This is a little better, but again, still pretty, really not very exciting to look at. Boardroom where you can barely see, what are those chairs, I'm assuming? Why are the chairs so dark? Why is everything so dark in the game? I guess it is Batman. GCPD. Again, just understanding what the colors mean. This is a rooftop again with some windows that you could fall into, and then the alleyway down below, but it's rather blah. And then what is this? Interior, exterior, room? I don't know. Honestly, this thing is probably the most exciting thing printed on any of the map boards. So there's those. Again, that's just my opinion. Some people may feel like what's underneath the miniatures really doesn't matter. But let's take a closer look at the miniatures here. Then I'll include some high-res photos in the playthrough. What is turned around? So I'm not going to pull all of these out because a lot of them are just henchmen who are repeated. For example, here are some examples of the henchmen. This might be a bystander. Yeah, scared guy with a briefcase, and here's a thug ready to punch you. We've got guys with some Tommy guns here, and some cops. Some standard police officer. The guy with the Tommy gun has a cigar in his mouth. So these aren't bad. They're, decent plastic. The details on here are okay. And again, it's the animated series, so there was not a huge amount of details in the show. The art style did not lend itself to a lot of details. So here's Man Bat. Big and impressive. Where is Batman? Here's Batman. So these are definitely going to look better painted up. We've got Robin here, and again, I'm gonna post up some pictures here of some. Where is the Joker? Police officer. Oh, here he is. Here's the Joker. Some better close-up pictures so you guys can see these in more detail here. We got the Joker, the Riddler, Scarecrow, Penguin, Two-Face here. Let's see how good the details are on Two-Face. Yeah, they're not bad. I can tell. A paint job will definitely help that he's scarred on one side. Some more thugs, some more scared people. So mainly it's just right here are the characters. Right here in the middle, the unique characters. And Cat, I guess she goes with Catwoman. All right, so nice little hand things here to pull out this tray. And here we finally have the rule book, our dice, and the cards, a couple plastic baggies, some stands. So what is nice about the game, especially for fans of the series, is that the scenarios are based on actual episodes from Batman the Animated Series. So you can see here episodes 1 to 5, 6 to 12. The stretch goal box is going to have even more if you do the Arkham Asylum expansion. And so here you can see Heart of Ice Act 2. So again, artwork pulled directly from the show. If you were familiar with this episode, this scenario should feel very, near and dear to your heart. So here's Heart of Ice, episode 3. let's see here, The Cat and the Claw, episode 2. So again, very, you know, reminiscent. There's some artwork here in the back even. You know, just very near and dear to the series. So I really appreciate this aspect, and I also appreciate the size of these books. This feels like a comic book. It's actually maybe a little bit smaller than the comic book, but I'm not really a huge fan of the big square rule books. They're harder to flip through, harder to, you know, just hold in your lap. But so here is the rule book. They have a layout of what the miniature tray should look like, which I really appreciate. Make sure you're getting everybody back in the right spot. And yeah, there's a decent amount in here. I know that they are covering, you know, for example, here's cooperative mode components and competitive mode components for the villains. So, you know, they're covering 2 different styles of gameplay here in the rule book, but there's a decent amount of text here. Here you can see the whole dice sharing mechanic with using the action little tokens. So it's a pretty thick rule book here. We are pushing 30, 40 plus pages probably. There is a glossary at the end. There is no nice thing on the back of, you know, common rules or icons. So that's something that I usually appreciate, but I don't see that anywhere. But anyways, there's the rule books and the episode guides. Also, it's nice that they've separated out the episode guides from the rule books so that you can have one open and then be flipping through the rule book. All right, let's take a look at some of the dice here. Just dump those right back in. So here you can see, here are the unique dice, and for the most part, everybody just gets 3 dice, and everybody has, I'm pretty sure, various colors that are akin to them. So like, I believe these are Robin's dice here, and his icons might be slightly different, but for the most part they are the same. Batgirl's going to get the blue and yellow ones. Batman's going to get the black and yellow here. I guess Police Commissioner Gordon gets the brown. And I'm not 100% sure who gets the gray. We'll have to figure that out here in a second. And then these are the dice that are going to be rolled by everybody to do attack and defense. So you can see here's the defense, and here are the attack symbols. So depending on what your stat is, you roll that many dice, and then you're looking again still for the proper icons. So there's the dice. One thing that I waffled on, but unfortunately only came with the all-in pledge, which I wasn't quite ready to pull the trigger on, was they created, as a stretch goal, a set of dice like this for many of the villains. A lot of the main villains, and then people got to vote on. So you could play the exact same way as you play with the heroes with the villains. And that's something I was very interested in, but they locked it into only available as part of the all-in pledge, which I did not like. I wish it would have been available as a add-on, and it's something I definitely would have purchased. But that's why I'm hoping that even though IDW is closing up shop, that that kind of content will become available down the road. All right, this is nothing but some bags here and these plastic rings. So let's take a look at some of the cards here. Let's figure out who, because I'm thinking it's Catwoman as the gray ones. So there's Batgirl, Batman. Yeah, okay, Catwoman, unaffiliated, so she can be a good guy or a bad guy. Jim Gordon and Robin. Okay, so before we get into these other guys here, just a few things to touch on here with these cards. One is that people have like a specific unit or family, like Robin is part of the Bat family, Jim Gordon is Gotham City Police Department, Catwoman was unaffiliated. Also, he has a utility belt. If you don't have a utility belt, you cannot take gear with you. You can just take skill cards with you. And then various statistics here, like your movement. This is your base fight, your base defense, how many skill cards you can take with you into the game, how your limit for focus tokens, then your health and your stand-up value. So if your health is exceeded, you have to, it's either recover back to this or recover that much health, I believe, on a like saving roll or a healing roll or something like that, to be able to stand back up. So there's no like permanently out, but there is like knocked down, and it is a little tricky to get back up. And then you have, he's got some passive effects here, like Boy Wonder. At the start of the round, after rolling action dice, Robin may add one additional non-defend icon of the same type to one action die, not dice shared to him. Okay. If this die is shared with another hero, that hero also receives the bonus icon. Okay. And you can also see here that, here are his symbols. Movement, a punch, double ranged attack, a defend, another movement. There's the 6 sides of his dice. Here's the 6 sides of Batman's dice. So, for example, Batman's got a double punch, double ranged, single movement, a defend plus a punch, and then the bat symbol. I'm pretty sure everybody at least has one bat symbol. Here is Catwoman's, for example. She's got 2 regular movements and a double movement, and then basically a lot of defends and punches. So, everybody's got a, again, unique set of dice. All right, so here are the other allies. Isis. That's 2 movement, and that's it. So all of these guys, if you need them. So this is what Catwoman would be if you're playing, if she's the villain. The other card is what you would pull her out as if she was the good guy. And then there's various sides here. I believe this is the cooperative side, and this is the competitive side. So this is what you have control of if you are controlling Catwoman, and if the AI is controlling Catwoman. All right, so then we have Harley Quinn. See, she is part of the Arkham Asylum group. Man-Bat, unaffiliated. Mr. Freeze, Arkham Asylum. Penguin, Stonegate Penitentiary. Oh, he's not Arkham. Okay. The Riddler, Scarecrow, and the Joker. Clown Prince of Crime. Two-Face, and then here are the various allies. Crusher, Enforcer, Hired Gun, Isis as a bad cat, and then things like, bombs, time bombs. What's on this side? Time bombs. So 2 bomb cards. So there's all the characters that are included in the base game here, essentially. And then we have a whole bunch of cards. So let's just take a look at one of these and see if I can give you a basic overview of the various cards that are in the game without taking the time to unwrap all of these cards. So these are the initiative cards. So these are what you're going to be shuffling in depending on who's playing in the scenario. They're all the same on the back, and then you're going to be drawing them. So who gets to go when is going to be entirely different depending on each round. Then you have some gear. So remember, only people with utility belts can take gear in, and then their utility belt has a certain number that they can hold. But then things, these are things that tell you when you can use them on the card. Your first aid kit, gas mask. Again, you have to have a utility belt, grappling gun to be able to knock out gas, to be able to use this stuff, carry it with you. So if you don't have access to a utility belt, you don't have access to gear and throwing blades. All right, so that didn't quite cover everything I wanted to. Let's open up another one here. Let's try Batgirl. All right, so these would be, for example, these are going to be, Batgirl's on the back. So these are Batgirl's skill cards. Remember, she had a skill number, maybe 2, 3, or 4. That's the amount of cards that the person controlling her gets to choose before the game starts what she wants to take in. And so there's, certain ones like use only when there are no enemies adjacent to Batgirl. Batgirl may make up to 2 investigative actions for free. Like that one's for free, or this one's like a passive effect. Each time Batgirl knocks down or KOs an enemy. So these cards would just kind of sit around, whereas these, you have to spend certain things. Like here you have to spend a focus token to do her gymnastics. Or here you have to spend 2 of your movement, whether it's on your dice or your action token, in order to do spring forward. So it looks like it's a movement plus an attack. Here you have to use 2 of your attack symbols to be able to do this skill. So you're not rolling, or you probably are rolling dice, but there's probably a little bonus involved with that. So each character you can see here, Batman's got like a larger selection, and then like Batman the Dark Knight, I believe, is when you are playing solo. Catwoman, Jim Gordon has some. Let's see, here's Robin's. And then these are, I believe, cards, yeah, that the if you are controlling the villain is going to claim or get. So not 100% sure how these work. Again, I was focused mainly on the solo aspect of play, which utilizes these cooperative boards that we took a look at earlier. When the initiative card comes out, you go through the cooperative boards, so on and so forth. So this appears to be just more of those types of cards, so we're not going to get into all of that. All right, then there's a decent tray in the bottom. No secrets underneath. So that is everything for the base game. We'll have to see how well everything fits back in here once it's punched. You know, there is a lot of cardboard. I don't know how well it's all going to fit back in here, but we'll see. Definitely will be interesting. Probably this is not going to be where the dice go. But so this looks like something that's going to need a little bit of an extra storage solution post video, so we'll be showing that off in the near future. Let's switch gears and take a look at the stretch goals and exclusives box. Okay, so here is the stretch goal box. Just a little note back on, I mentioned earlier on in the video that the game was delayed because it was either DC or Warner Brothers did not like this picture. In fact, was the picture on the original box cover. And you can see Joker has a gun here. I don't know if Mr. Freeze here was, his ray gun was flagged, but this was the problem that made them redo the box art cover, which they ended on the, you know, Shadow of the Bat kind of very clean basic system. I don't know whether I almost like this box lid better. I feel like they could have done something like this with, you know, just the main character. This is mostly stretch goal characters. I realize that Batman's kind of hiding in the background here, but why couldn't they have done something like this for the main box? Again, just some interesting decisions that were made along the way here that I'm not really 100% sure on why they took that route. But anyways, here is stretch goal box. So we do have the episode guide on top and a miniature tray reference. So again, nice touch here. I don't know why this wasn't included in here. Maybe they created the episode guide and then realized, oh crap, we need a miniature tray reference sheet. So there's that. So here's the episode guide. Let's see what's inside here. So you're looking at episodes 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So I believe Arkham Asylum, the expansion that you would have had to add on as an extra for the game, has, what is it, 13 through 18. So those 5. So, but again, you know, each episode even has some different acts to it. And all of these, again, utilize a lot of the characters here that, you know, are not in the base game. For example, like Zatanna here and Mustard Mom or whatever her name is. Or, yeah, this guy, Captain Condiments here. Things like that. People who are very obscure characters, fans of the show, might be very happy with. All right, so we've got a couple things that were actually very exciting here that were included in this game, which we're going to try and show off real quick here without making too much horrible noise. All right, the first thing here is basically health trackers. So I showed you all the health tokens in the base game. All of those can pretty much be tucked away and forgotten about because they have included health trackers in the game. So yeah, and then some various other status tokens here. Obviously, this probably goes along with Captain Condiment there, and I forget what her name is, but the electrified chick here. So just a few punch boards in this one. Some new boards, some new map tiles to go along with the new scenarios. Let's see if these are any better looking. All right, the bat signal. Again, you know, it's really just, this looks, I guess, like the bat cave because I see some bat stuff over here, but it's just a very red tile. A street. Again, bat cave maybe. I don't know. Is this a hole in the ground? Okay. A cave with some green gas. Again, I don't know. Hard to tell. Some tools and a broken window. A chair in the middle of a cave. A very boring, what, rooftop with a tiny alleyway, I guess. Again, a conference room, some office space, and another boring street corner. So, again, a little disappointed in the artwork on the map tiles. I feel like it would not have been that much to get somebody in to spruce those up a bit. But let's go ahead here and just, again, take a look at, again, I'm not a huge Batman connoisseur. I know he was a very popular character. Where's Captain Condiment? Here's Captain Condiments. Here with his mustard and ketchup gun. Here is, I know this was a whole series of people here. Rat Boy or something like that. And somebody with a mom in the name. So all these guys kind of go together. Here's Supergirl. So she's a playable hero character, kind of crossover, but I know she was very popular. I think the bears are kind of cool. I think polar bears here for Mr. Freeze scenarios, and then the cats, pumas or mountain lions or something like that. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff here. Stuff that you would not expect. Some more thugs at the bottom. Not expect to be in a base box, but are fun to have and play the new scenarios with. So, all right. So here are a few of the things that I am most excited about. To be honest with you, the health trackers and these player boards. So again, pretty straightforward. Nothing super fancy about these, but they get the job done, I guess. Essentially, your card is going to be placed here in the center. You can have a spot for skill cards and gear cards if you need to be. But then this is the main key here, is placing your dice here at the bottom and over the X. And then as you use them, you're going to slide up the 3 dice in the middle and 2 tokens on the outside. You'll slide them up once they're used. Again, this is very simple. There's nothing fancy about these, but I feel like we'll definitely create a quality of life situation that is a bonus. So was very happy to see something like this make its way into the stretch goals content. Little pegs for the health trackers, more dice here. So this appears to be even more playable hero characters than the base game. So let's take a look here. Some black rings. Those must be for something. All right, so we've got Detective Bullock. He's going to be a playable character. I think he originally was just like an ally. Etrigan, that's what his name was. Okay, so he's a playable character. The Demon. Wonder if he's like Catwoman, where he could be either way. The Gray Ghost. Okay. Officer Montoya, she was another one who started out as an ally and then became a playable character. Supergirl, obviously, we highlighted, and Zatanna is a playable character. All right, and then we have all the villains that you can play against. So Condiment King, there's Etrigan Livewire, that's her name. Mighty Mom, okay. Pack Rat. Ra's al Ghul, I think he's the one with the cats. Red Claw. Rupert Thorne. Talia al Ghul. Candace. Frankie. The Polar Bears. And the League of Assassins. I didn't see a card for the Mountain Lions, so they must be in here somewhere. And this, I'm guessing, is just a whole bunch more of the cards we already took a look at. So that's going to do it for my unboxing of Batman the Animated Series. I'm going to get everything unpunched, tucked away. We're going to do a storage solution boxing here soon, and then we'll do some how-to videos and some playthrough videos coming up on the channel. So if you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more Batman the Animated Series content in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.